You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a bonus episode. It is not Sunday. So you're like, why is she coming on? Because we're giving you a bonus episode. Today is October 10th, and it is World Mental Health Day. If you've never heard of it, it is a day, and it's a day to take time for yourself. You know, the way Webster describes Mental Health Day, and I totally disagree with this, is it's a day that an employee takes off from work in order to relieve stress and renew vitality. That totally negates that there are people who are retired. There are people who are, stay-at-home moms, or someone who just had a baby who is not at work right now, or even a student, or just the basic person that needs mental health. So I love this day. Whether it's, I'm not one who celebrates like Valentine's Day and those other days, but like Mental Health Day, I'm all for it because it's a day to bring awareness that mental health is so important. Like we think about our physical health and, if you're looking at it from a job perspective, we'll take sick days when we feel sick physically, but when we're not feeling well mentally, we're like, oh, we can power through it. So today is one of those days to recognize that, it's time to take time and breathe and pause. And, this day couldn't have come at a better time. Our daily lives have changed so much, from feeling chaotic and, we're just feeling far from what we knew as the norm. Of course, we have the COVID-19 pandemic where, hundreds and thousands of people have died just in America alone. We have the racial tensions that are heightened and, we're seeing some change, but we're not seeing the change that we truly want to be seeing to know that the systematic racism will eventually be addressed. And then there's the economic uncertainty, like people are losing their jobs, we're working from home, like we just don't know what's coming next. Like, is this recession really going to be the one that makes it feel like the Great Depression? We just don't know. And so it sucks because our normal coping mechanisms or our normal stress relievers aren't really available. Like for me, I hella love travel. When things get rough and like when we had a lot of racial tensions previously in the past, granted, it's a little bit of escapism, but I would go somewhere and I'm like, okay, I'm on a beach. Okay, life is just a little bit better. But people who travel or people who love to go to the gym and work out their frustrations or their stress or their anxiety. But a lot of gyms are open right now, or social gatherings. We had concerts, we had movies, we had, brunch with our friends. I miss brunch with friends. San Francisco, one thing that I love about living in San Francisco is brunch. Like, that's just where we get together, have fun. And that was Mental Health Day for me. It's like I would go hang out with my friends for brunch. Brunch usually turns into drinks, and drinks turns up into dancing. And that's just my fun. That's my mental, release. And, that's not really an option because let's be real, I'm not really trying to be with a lot of people right now. So, not having those social gatherings and gyms and travel and all those other things we used to do, going to concerts to, try to release some of the stress from that we feel mentally is difficult. And so that's why I feel like this day more than ever comes at such a great time to bring awareness of why we need wellness in our life, why we need to take care of ourselves. And I talk about it all the time. Like, I'm literally trying with this podcast and everything I'm doing to create a wellness revolution for women of color. Like, now is a time for us to truly pour into ourselves and know that self-care is not this thing to do every blue moon, but it is a point of survival and self-preservation. So people are probably wondering, okay, so Now I understand and know that there is a mental health day. There's a World Mental Health Day, and people around the world are celebrating it. And now I know what it's about. Like, so how do I celebrate? What do I do? So there's many things you can do on this day or just in general to celebrate and focus on your mental health. The first thing I would say is the first thing I would just say, the first step is acknowledging your thoughts and your emotions. Being able to admit that you're struggling or something's not right or emotionally you're just feeling a certain kind of way and being aware of that struggle is literally the first step. Of course, the next one being, taking action. It's great to be aware and know something, but when you aren't acting on it, what's the point? Like for so many years, I knew I needed to upgrade my own mental health and do some things and, maybe get rid of some people out of my life and make some shifts. But being aware of it and not acting on it didn't make a difference. Like my life was still in a place that I didn't really love or wasn't happy about because I wasn't taking the action of the steps when I had the knowledge. When you know better, you do better. Like again, when you don't know, you don't know. But when you do know, the point is to act on it. And I know it ain't always easy. God, did I say it ain't? I did, but whatever. And I just got sidetracked for saying that. I'm like, I caught myself in a grammar issue. Whatever. I never said I was perfect. But when you know better, you do better. And doing better includes taking action. So now that you've, when you acknowledge your thoughts and your emotions of where you are, on a mental health day, it's a great day to give yourself what you need. And we don't do that often, but this is like a perfect day to say, I'm giving myself what I need. Do I need to relax? Do I need to get out in nature? Do I need to do something that brings me joy? Or even better, do I need to, take some time to reflect on what needs to change in my life so I can take further action to make those changes? It's also a great day to pour into yourself, maybe taking some personal development classes. There's so many things online. Like right now, if you are looking into personal development, if you just Google personal development and put maybe a specific topic you're talking about, whether it's like dealing with anxiety, dealing with, microaggression, like all these different things, I bet you can find a course. There's so much going on. So take a personal development class today. Read a book on personal development. Write in your journal. Consider manifesting. One thing I love doing is writing a letter to my future self. And that might sound a little woo-woo sometimes, but I love reading letters I've written to myself in the future. Like, so for example, I wrote a letter to myself on June 30th. I wrote a letter for my future self September 30th. I was working in a program. And I remember reading the letter. So there's a program I think it's called Future Me, like you can write a letter to yourself. And I remember reading the letter on September 30th and thinking, oh man, I just manifested all this stuff. And like when writing the letter, I felt good. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be here and you're going to be loving yourself and you're going to continue on this progress. And when I read it, a couple months later, I was like, yes, I manifested this stuff. It wasn't that it just happened by chance. I manifested these things to happen in my life. So I love the ideal of taking a time on, World Mental Health Day to write a letter to yourself and manifest. Start describing some things. Another thing to think about is, honoring your body and mind. This is a great day. Like, take a bath. Again, we talked about relaxing, but be mindful with your words that you use towards yourself and others on today. And then also being mindful about what you eat. Don't overeat. Take today as a day as like, I'm not going to overeat. And even better yet, I'm going to work on being a little bit healthier. I'm going to add a little bit more, I'm going to up the greater percentages of fruits and vegetables I eat today. I'm going to take my time when I eat. I'm going to mindfully eat and chew a little bit longer and just really all my senses come in when I'm eating my food. So I'm aware and I'm present during the time of eating. Consider doing a detox of social media, social media and the news. Forget that social media news. I talk about it all the time. Like I have become during the COVID pandemic a CNN junkie. I'm like in love with Don Lemon. Not like love, but I do just love like hearing him and his voice and like what he's talking about. But let's be real, the news is toxic. The news, there's rarely a positive story on CNN that is like a feel-good moment. It's rare. So if anything, today on World Mental Health Day is a great day to detox from social media, get out of those feeds, get offline, get off the news, and just be present. Be present. Consider moving. Take a dance class. Again, take a dance class. There's so many classes online. Or if you want, there's a yoga class, there's a Zumba class, there's a HIIT class. There's so many classes. Like, I love the MindBody app. There's so many classes. And the great thing about right now during the pandemic is that I could take classes in other parts of the world. Like, I love taking classes with a yoga studio in Brooklyn called Heal House. Like, they are amazing. Like, I feel like, oh my God, you pour into my soul so much. When I was in New York, I loved taking classes there. So when the pandemic happened and they were offering more online classes, I'm like, this is amazing. I can now be poured into from a distance, and I love it. So just moving your body. Again, if it's walking, exercising, dancing, movement is a great way to really honor your body and your mind. And then also just connect with your tribe today. Take today to reach out to a friend, especially your strong friends. Your strong friends, we always think that they're good. They don't need anything. They're strong. Make today a day that you take an extra special note in your head to say, I'm going to check on my strong friends. So if I'm one of your strong friends, I expect to hear from you today. So that's it. That's our bonus episode for today. Again, I hope you are enjoying and take time for you, because you deserve this day. You deserve a mental health day, no matter whether you are employed or not. Today is the day to honor, take care of you. Think about give your emotions a little TLC. Take a break from the draining stress of every day and just breathe today. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.